It is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025, and the news by the numbers out of Los Angeles continues. If you read my 2017 book, Letters and Numbers, surely CNN's headline jumps out to you in a major way. Or if you followed my channel for any period of time, the headline should stand out to you because we've covered this pattern with 134 in the Trump administration about 1,000 times over the last decade. And, just a week ago, it was Elon Musk, after 130 days of being with the administration, saying it had been 134 days, which wasn't true. It was 130, but I pointed out then why he said 134. And notice, a top Pentagon official gave Congress the approximate price tag of Trump's response to the protests with Marines and National Guard troops, and that estimate is $134 million. Now, of course, that's a completely fake number pulled right out of the Kabbalistic world of numerology, which is so repetitive. And what is maddening, being the person who's been here for almost 12 years now, educating about this every single day, is that while this knowledge was gaining momentum within the internet, where people were learning about this, for the last 5 years, there's been total censorship and destruction, and seemingly it's worked from the cabal standpoint because hardly anyone is talking about this subject. It's so important to understand that your news is nothing but Kabbalistic propaganda resulting in nothing but mind control. If people could grasp this, then they would stop falling for the news. They'd stop falling for the bullshit. They'd stop falling for the agendas. They'd stop participating in the orchestrated chaos, such as what's going on in LA right now, where literally you have the feds deploying the military forces and the feds also deploying and bussing in the paid-for protesters that create the destruction that does suck in other people from the community who then participate. But again, it's all being instigated. The feds are starting these fires, and the reason why is because they need these occasional showings of force to justify, in the minds of at least some, why there needs to be massive police presence, why there needs to be a massive military presence, which is what this nation spends more and more of our dollars on. Again, the government takes our dollars and calls it taxation and spends it more and more on the military, police, surveillance state. And this administration told you from day one that's where it's going when they talked about the Stargate project. And sure, they did tell you something about how it could, solve all illness in the future. But really, the same gentleman who was talking about that just 3 months earlier was talking about the future AI surveillance state where he sees every American wearing a camera. Everyone's under total surveillance at all times. And he said it'll bring out the best behavior in everybody. Again, they want a police military state. If you've been paying attention for all of the 21st century, this has been the direction of things. 9/11 brought about the Patriot Act, which really brought about a surveillance state over us. And a lot of people didn't put two and two together. The smartphones weren't quite out yet when 9/11 happened, but everybody was starting to get cell phones in their pocket. And the new laws of the land at the time with the Patriot Act were that the government can now collect everybody's data, information, phone calls, text messages, email, library records, et cetera, and build national databases. And of course, in the 21st century, you've seen all these big tech companies get massive and huge, largely through government contracts. And all of these tech companies, Microsoft, you think of operating systems and Microsoft Word and typing. But behind Microsoft is massive government databases. Same for Amazon, same for a lot of these big tech companies. Amazon maintains massive databases for the government. Amazon's also the leader in developing the facial recognition technology for the police surveillance state. Again, this thing where the AI can monitor over all of it. And I remember talking about these things years ago, and people say, okay, even if the government's got eyes on everyone, how can they possibly keep track? And I'd say back then, computers. And now that question's being explained. I mean, they're telling it to you. The leader of Oracle. Oracle. What is an Oracle? Isn't that a future teller? The leader of Oracle is telling you about this future surveillance state where everyone has a camera and everyone's being watched over right now. And again, just these social media personalities. That goofball yesterday I was talking about who said he wants that yesterday. Today on his show, he's talking about how America doesn't have masculine men. This is the same guy that wants everybody under total surveillance by the government. Oh my God, these people are out of their mind. And anyone who listens to them are out of their mind. But yeah, again, if you still haven't figured out what's up with the 134 million, you got to learn the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words, gematria. So many people roll their eyes at this subject. Those people are wrong for doing it. This knowledge is used every day to create these nothing but propaganda headlines, these false numbers. Again, look into what Kabbalah actually is, who it's practiced by, why it's been used, why it's referenced right at the beginning of the Bible in Genesis 3:2:2, again, which mentions the tree of life, which is the physical model for Kabbalah and knowing good and evil. Again, the evil half is about sorcery and spell casting and having influence over others, and seemingly this Kabbalistic magic that they're doing every day does seem to work over most people. Some of us seem to be immune from the spell, but a lot of people just march right along to the bullshit every day, which is such obvious bullshit. You have to be under some kind of spell to not see through it. But again, make America great again, okay? 134. This is why this number is everywhere with Trump, if you pay attention. Again, just the other day we covered this. Musk says the last 134 days didn't make any sense. It had been 130 days. Where did he get 134 from at the time? It was 130 days, not 134. I told you why that day. I said he said 134 because it's the same thing we've been talking about for over a decade. Trump's new bloated bill, which cuts, a lot of social services. It cuts a lot of medical expenses. It cuts a lot of education expenses. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for cutting government expenses. At the end of the day, none of this government crap's helping us. It's not. If somebody's out there, well, my family would die. Yeah, that might be true, but you know why your family member's probably also dying? Because of the subsidized junk food they've probably been putting in their mouth their whole life, which would be a lot cheaper if it wasn't for the government making cheap, sickness-inducing foods the norm in everyone's diet. If it wasn't for the government indoctrinating the minds of the youth with the food pyramid, which is a load of shit, teaching people to eat all the wrong ways. It's the government that's through its policies is getting people very sick, and then it's also the government that's then needing to dish out money to treat all these problems through health. Again, you just get rid of the government, and we get back to being human beings. A lot of the problems will sort themselves out. But anyway, this new bill, which cuts a lot of things that you could say, okay, well, if I got to pay taxes, at least for me, I'd rather pay taxes to things that actually help people than rather their police and military, which is what the One Big Beautiful Bill Act is, going along with this first ever $1 trillion military budget. But yeah, again, just to go back to this 2017 post. This post is from May of 2017, so this post is now over 8 years old. That day that focused on Jared Kushner equals 134. Of course, that's who's married to Trump's daughter, who used to have the office at 666 in New York. But of course, his daughter's also 134. The word impeach is 134. And realize I was talking about this because I was saying I think Trump's going to get impeached because of this whole 134 thing. Remember, 2 impeachment rituals by the numbers. House of Cards. Remember, that was the hit show when Trump was running for office about the presidency, when Trump is a word associated with cards, the Trump cards, the top cards in the tarot deck. Of course, there's 78 cards in the tarot deck, and Trump's back in office at age 78. You might recall day 1 in office, he reversed 78 Biden-era executive orders. That was day 1 in office. Biden also took office at age 78. I had June 3rd up there because it was relevant at the time. But yeah, just so that from then up to now, I've covered so many 134s, I couldn't dare remember even a fraction of them. But it's just like how last week Musk is saying 134 days for no reason. A few weeks ago, Trump says he wants to reopen Alcatraz, which would be another very expensive police state venture. And you know what Alcatraz equals in Gematria? Alcatraz has the 134 in it. Again, if you're new here, these are the 4 base ciphers of the English language: the alphabetic order with numerology, the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. And some people right away, they're like, oh, you got 4 ciphers. No wonder you're making it all work. If you're that person, please call in today and just start throwing random phrases at me. We'll see how many we have to type out before we find a 134. Like, big prison near Seattle's Monroe. It doesn't have a 134. It wouldn't work for Monroe. And it wouldn't work for most things. If the name of the prison was my name, Zachary, it wouldn't work out. If it was my last name, it wouldn't work out. It'd be one off. It'd be close. If it was my full name, it wouldn't work out. You know what I mean? You can't just get anything to equal anything. So this 134 thing has just been nonstop with Trump. And even I put an asterisk next to this, but I do wonder if this is what's really all about at the end of the day. Again, who gave us the language? Who gave us the calendar? The Jesuits, 134. Where does this $134 million estimate come from? Oh, it comes from the Pentagon. Who got appointed to head the Pentagon? Pete Hegseth. And what day did Pete Hegseth get appointed to head the Pentagon? On the leader of the Jesuits' birthday, November 12th. Of course, we know the Jesuits run the show. Again, they gave us the language, the calendar. The Capitol is where they set up camp, Washington, D.C. It wasn't the Capitol yet. Sorry, that's the robotic vacuum. It's done. I finally gave in and got a robotic vacuum recently. There's not enough hours in a day anymore with the little one. I felt like that was sacrilegious to do with a mom who cleaned houses. I thought, what are all the women like my mom's supposed to do? And everybody's got robotic vacuums. My mom paid the bills cleaning people's houses. Anyway, I'm sure in the future they'll probably have like flying drones that dust everything. I can see it. Anyway. Doesn't normally do two. That was weird. That was a shout out to my mom, I guess. Anyway. This 134 thing, it's just mockery. It's mockery. And in all reality, it's probably going to cost the taxpayers way more than $134 million. Again, things are expensive. Military is very expensive. Government always overpays for everything. I just remember when the war started after 9/11. 60 Minutes did a show on the things that the U.S. taxpayers were having to pay for the war, including $15 per Coca-Cola sent to the troops, and they were sending a lot of Coca-Colas over there. That was the price to get a Coke to the troops, $15 per Coca-Cola. And of course, Coca-Cola is making a lot of money off that. The shareholders of Coca-Cola are making a lot of money off that. But it's like, who's making these decisions? Who's making these decisions? I say, whoa, we don't need to be sending our troops sugar water that's not even good for their health, costing our people $15 a can. And as I say that out loud, I want to make a point too. So many people hate the idea of communism. Are you sure America's that different than a communist nation? Growing up in the 80s and 90s, going to school like I did, we heard a lot about communism and how bad it was. And one thing that they would emphasize over and over about communist nations was that the government controlled the media. So all you got was state propaganda. That was all you would ever get in your news in a communist nation. Do we get anything besides state propaganda in the U.S.? I'd say no. I'd say absolutely no. So are we different than a communist nation there? No. In communism, the government controls business. Is it really that much different here? We have crony capitalism where our tax money's siphoned off to the favorite stores like a Walmart, where Walmart is heavily subsidized with U.S. tax dollars. That's part of why Walmart can destroy the competition, because their stores are paid for with tax dollars, a large part. The parking lots, the city will go out of their way to create a new freeway off-ramp to get right there to the Walmart, change the road so everyone funnels right into Walmart. The government goes way out of its way to help Walmart prosper. When Walmart comes into communities, mom and pop stores usually die pretty fast because, the mom and pop store, their hardware store, the hammer costs $20 there. Walmart's got it for $9.99. The few people in the community are like, well, I want to keep mom and pop here. They've been around, Those people, there's not enough of them. And the reason why is because most people are like, well, damn, man, I'm already in debt. I better get the $10 hammer at Walmart. And then next thing you know, the mom and pop store is out of business. The nice thing about the mom and pop store was pretty much all the money they made, they put back into the community. What's Walmart do with most of the money it gets? Goes to the shareholders, goes to the central corporate headquarters, goes to lobbying the politicians on Q Street to keep it so that the government can help them open another Walmart and get the roads ready for the next super center. And again, Walmart's not the only store like this. Pretty much all the big tech companies are very tightly connected to the government with billions of dollars in federal contracts and subsidies. People like Elon Musk, who's risen up to be the richest man in the world, who pretty much gets all of his money from government contracts, and now has become part of the government. While in this administration, with the orange goon up there again, as we told you 4 years ago, they'd reinstall him by the numbers. He has all the big tech billionaires who, just a small group of them, have more wealth than almost every American combined. thanks to the tax dollars that we pay being essentially shoveled over to these men to help build the police surveillance state. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I mean, tell me how much different it is than communism. And I'm not even sure, in a communist nation, can a guy just go start his own, like, coffee shop on the corner? Maybe he can, because, I mean, you can do that here, but probably get put out of business by Walmart because they're selling coffee for even cheaper than you can, too. Yeah, again, the point I'm making is all this stuff we heard about communism, it's really not that much different than what's been going on in the United States of America. And by the way, you guys, in my spring cleaning, I found my Truth Matters hat. I thought I had gotten legs and ran away. Instead, it ended up in a really weird spot. And I don't even know how it got there, but the Truth Matters hat is back. If you're just tuning in today and you haven't seen all of my coverage on the LA riots by the numbers, definitely get caught up. It's been nothing but news by the numbers, just total mockery. And again, to make a long story short, first time National Guard on the ground in in LA since the Rodney King riots, which were related to the acquittal of the police officers a little more than a year after the beating. But remember, the Rodney King beating was on 3/3. Now, 33 years later, again in Gematria, police equals 33, federal 33, order 33, secrecy 33, masonry 33, Mexico equals 33, as does Mexican flags everywhere. The Mexican-American War ended on the 33rd day of the year. Keep in mind, also 33 years ago, 1992, that was the year that NAFTA was passed. NAFTA was the bill that was warned about that if it passed, it was going to destroy Mexican agriculture because their farmers would not be able to compete with the mega businesses, the only businesses that could profit from the new agreed to prices for corn and other crops that were very prominent with Mexican farmers. It was understood that the bill America was passing, this massive trade deal, was going to benefit big corporations and destroy small business. And again, you guys, I don't know why people can't catch on, but this is exactly what needs to be stopped. Government makes it so that the individual has a harder and harder time to exist, and more people need to acclimate to the corporatocracy, to work for the mega corporation. Now the only employer in town is Walmart, is true in a lot of small towns. You know, where I just lived, Yakima, Washington. Almost no small businesses left. The Walmart, it's just like they continually have to expand the parking lot because there's nowhere to park there no matter what day or time of the year it is. It's just the one place to go to get all things. There's so many communities like that. The destruction of the individual and the growing of, again, the corporation. And what is this major alliance with big business and government? What's the word for that we know? Fascism. Again, according to Mussolini, who coined the term fascism, it's the merger of corporation and business. So I think it is more fair to say that America is more of a fascist nation than communist. But at the same time, I'm making the point, everything they told us about communism isn't that much different than what's going on in America. And since the 1800s in the House of Representatives, again, what's on the wall? The fasces, the root word of fascism, a Roman word, an Italian word, just like Mussolini, the Italian. From the time of the World Wars, which greatly benefited the mega corporations, which grew a lot in power from the massive government contracts they got from the war. You know, corporations, especially ones involved with military, vehicles, they benefit tremendously from war. Yeah, make America great again. It's more like make America even more fascist. And this is no endorsement of the Democratic Party. Again, both of these parties are horribly inept. They have no allegiance to the people. They just, bait people to vote for them. Oh, we're not as bad as the other guys. Most of the ads when advertisement season comes around for these campaigns, it's not really about how great they are. It's about how horrible the opposition is. Can't people see that all this just needs to go? All of this needs to go. Supposedly we're a democratic republic, but there's nothing really democratic about it. And again, we genocided the people who were here before. Books like Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States They focus on the way that the people who were here before us, the tribes, the Native Americans, how they actually executed democracy and worked together. There's many historians that say the greatest democracy that ever existed in the history of the world is what the tribes had going here in the United States of America before they got wiped out. And to that point, that is the mindset of why military is pinnacle, right? If you have the greatest military, you're the conquering force. If it's all about existence and survival, that is what's number one. That is what's paramount. That is a worldview, and essentially that is what's going on, and why certain people do support the military police state and Team America World Police. But I look at it and I say, my philosophy is this philosophy, or whatever we're doing, isn't good. I mean, look at the quality of life. Most veterans come back and bring all kinds of emotional baggage with them, destructive behaviors, drug dependence, abuse of their families, abuse of themselves, self-deletion, homelessness. Look, the story right now in Washington State, we have the National Guard out searching for a former National Guard member who supposedly killed his 3 daughters. And they're saying, he developed mental problems in his time overseas in Afghanistan. Okay. Isn't this exactly what Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech was a year to the day of his assassination, April 4th, 67, Beyond Vietnam, a time to break silence, how until we change our militaristic ways, we'll continue to be a society filled with all these ills, all this destructive behavior. Again, most Americans have never heard Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, Beyond Vietnam, a time to break silence, given a year to the day of his assassination. I remember when I was teaching 5th grade in South Seattle, students loved learning about it. They'd never heard about it. It was new to them, and it was blowing their minds, and had a great discussion about it. Problem was, teacher next door got wind of it, didn't like that we were talking about that, and went and told the principal, and the principal came in and kind of gave me a slap on the wrist and said, we need to stick to I have a dream. I have a dream is the speech that we want them to think about. Like, okay, I have a dream. It's nice, but I don't know. These kids are growing up in this world where, again, I drive past all the homeless people on the street, all the homeless veteran signs. Might want to learn about what MLK said, and how this is going to continue to be the case until something changes. And that's the thing too. We don't have we don't have education centers. We do have indoctrination centers. And a big part of the indoctrination is the same reason this work doesn't catch on in the way it should. I don't want to say that, though. I feel like had I never been deleted and the work would have continued to grow like it was in 2017, God knows how many people would be watching. We might have 1 million people on the live stream right now. We might have 1 million people every time we go live. We might have a real force changing things. And that's also why this big tech establishment, which is the government, that wants to control speech. And again, that's why they invest in the private companies, because private companies have a right, according to the way U.S. is laid out, to circumvent the Constitution and the First Amendment, all these amendments. And again, that's why we were given the right to protect ourselves from enemies, foreign and domestic. And every time I bring up the point about how the biggest threat to the First and Second Amendment is big tech, and the American people, if they want to preserve what America's supposed to be about, they really should rise up against these institutions and do what our founders gave us the right to do. Again, there's a reason you have a right to bear arms and protect yourself from enemies, foreign and domestic. It should be obvious to everybody that our government and who's infiltrated it and these big tech companies, they are very horribly not American, and there is something that should be done about. But yeah, again, every time I do this, you got that little gender bender who's in the Bay Area. He's a ERIN, Aaron Fleming, little girl who's on the testosterone pills that has some peach fuzz on his face, and I'll say his to respect his gender bender status. But, just constantly making all these weirdo streams about me and going, oh my God, he's such an evil person. He wants to take out big tech. It's like, see, this is the kind of person that I would expect to be whining about me, a kind of a weirdo person with mental problems, again, gender bender. And that's not what America is supposed to be either. It wasn't supposed to be a bunch of, mentally ill people and the government catering to these people, which is what we see going on. One side of the political spectrum is largely bending all of their policies to these kinds of people, which is absolutely insane too. I came up identifying as liberal because when I was younger, what liberalism was about was opposing the military police surveillance state, and that was the main thing, really. And I thought that was paramount. That's really the biggest problem I see going in the U.S., and it's kind of abandoned that ever since 2008 when they got all branches of government and then went along with the wars and escalated them further, completely selling out the voters who thought that they were going to end it, which is why I can't believe anybody votes for either political party at this point. But yeah. Anyway, let me take some phone calls and see what you guys got to say. If you're on the ground in LA and you got more observations about how they're staging this propaganda for the news, I would love to hear about that. And if you guys want to talk about anything else that's relevant, that is also welcome. But yeah, let me open up the phone line. It is that number on the screen. It is the 509-560-4982, bottom center. That is the number. And see what you guys got. Oh, by the way, Fox News today, out of everything going on, they had to pull the Hillary card. And it's amazing. I mean, this just shows the psychological operation of where people are stuck. The right wing just can't get over this Clinton family like they have some kind of power. Again, this Clinton family that you know, Bill and Hillary, neither of them are even actual Clintons. Yeah, neither of them are actual Clintons. Obviously, Hillary's not because she took on the name through marrying Bill. And Bill only has the name because his mother remarried into the Clinton political dynasty, which was the original governorship in New York. That's why the 93 World Trade Center bombing happened when he took office, and Hillary became a senator there. Again, these are just puppets on the world stage who hold no real power. What's up, 760?
What's going on, Zach? How you doing, bud?
Doing all right.
Oh, man. What I wanted to say was, like, Alex Karp has a new book that's out, and it talks about the role of technocracy in America's future. And people want this. You can see this underground in L.A. Like, there are people protesting, right? But there's people who want more police. They think it's for national security. This whole thing is a test to see how far the government can do overreach and get away with it. So they normalize it.
Yeah.
Like the military parade.
Yep.
As an example. They can move weapons in plain sight, and nobody's going to say a thing. Until somebody says a thing, then those weapons will be used against the public. It's the same reason we protested against England and rebelled, right? But people don't see that.
Right. Well, it becomes more and more obvious, and they still don't see it. I mean, some of us saw it from day one when 9/11 happened. We said, this is really about creating a police surveillance state here. And it's just like things like even this Diddy trial. They had to arrest Diddy with Homeland Security in Manhattan, when Homeland Security came out of 9/11, mostly in Manhattan. And again, his record label had this song Juicy with Notorious B.I.G., which was banned from the radio because Biggie's got the verse about blow up like the World Trade. It's all just one sick joke after the next. And yeah, it is in plain sight, but people just don't see it. And to me, it speaks to this Kabbalistic practice. These people have to be under a spell.
One more thing I want to tell you, like, Peter Thiel believes that America is the kingdom of the Antichrist. And he believes that we need this new one world order system to pretty much stop us from mutually annihilating ourselves. And that's the whole reason for this technocratic order.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty wild stuff, brother.
All right. I appreciate those thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
All right, take care. All right, we got about 300 people watching, and we don't have 100 likes. If you guys could hit the like, that's what's supposed to help jump this thing up into the algorithm. Again, I finally found a platform where I had traction after all these years of censorship and losing traction on here, and that was X. I was having 2,000 people on average per live stream. We had over 5,000 people on the conference championship football live stream, 5,000 people on X. January 27th. X account deleted, and I've got a threatening email that any other accounts I create on there will be deleted. I do have an account on there that's not verified. I'm pretty sure if I verify it, it will get deleted. But yeah, that hurt a lot. I had a lot of good work for almost, I forget when I started using X consistently, but probably around 2018-ish. I had a lot of work on X that just went down the drain. And of course, that was a week to the day of the new administration. And it seemed like it was for pointing out the salute there that Musk did in tribute to Werner von Braun, who invented the character he's now playing. And people did watch that video, and there were a lot of snarky comments left. Like, oh, that's so dumb. And then 2 weeks later, they announced that on that same day he did that, Warner Von Braun's wife died. It's another one of those major league coincidences. And it's crazy how everyone just chalks everything up to coincidence. You know, Sly Stone's dead yesterday. There's a riot going on. Their fifth album, the band stopped recording 42 years ago. Sly Stone equals 42 small way, 87 the big way, dead on the 87th day of his age. You could also say 86 days after his birthday, like 86 just to get rid of. A weird thing for me, too, about Sly Stone, Mr. 42, is poor guy died 42 days before my 42nd birthday. And my mom, she likes Sly and the Family Stone. She likes all that era of music. She likes Motown more, but yeah, it's just it's something else. And by the way, with regards to 42, you guys see the new trending movie on Netflix from Tyler Perry about the 42-year-old black woman, single mother, can't keep up, taking care of the child, trying to work, trying to pay the bills. Seen early in the movie, she goes to the bank and there's only $47 in her account, and they won't let her withdraw 40, which she needs to feed her child. Say, sorry, it's policy, ma'am. You got to keep the minimum in your account, and we can't take out 40 when you only got 47. And again, just 47, that omnipresent number with authority. And also, they're probably a little play on this, the whole Trump thing right now, because a lot of people see Trump as a racist. The landlord who once said why he didn't rent to darker complected people, who wanted to take out the Central Five. He wanted the death penalty for him. But yeah, also just in Gematria, banks equals 47. From the Federal Reserve being established to the 12 Federal Reserve banks opening was exactly 47 weeks later. And by the way, just with regards to Gematria, it's right on your money, right? Because there's 12 Federal Reserve banks, and you can tell which of the 12 banks your money was printed on by the letter that's on there. If it was printed at Bank 1, it has an A on it. If it was printed at Bank 2, it has a B on it. If it was printed at Bank 12, it has an L on it, the 12th letter. So right on your money is the Gematria. Banks equals 47, like authority, like government, like news. The things controlling your life. Are those not the things controlling your life? Government, news, money? I'm pretty sure they are. They're the things definitely controlling most people's minds. All right, I got about 10 minutes, and I got to hop off. If you guys would like to call in and share anything, now is the time. I got about 12 more minutes before I gotta hop off. 10, 12 minutes. Let's see. Is this even the coverage in BBC? What's BBC focused on today? Yeah, we did talk about Austria. So this morning it was 9. Now the death toll's up to 11. If you missed my coverage on that, I talked about how it happened 99 days after the new leader of Austria took office. Austria is where Adolf is from. Remember, the mass shooting that really created the wave of modern mass shootings was Columbine, which happened on Adolf's birthday in 99, and Columbine High School equals 99. There's a few more things to that, but that story for Europe, that makes sense, it's a lot closer to home, is overshadowing LA. LA's taking a back seat. And the article we read this morning, Austria has one of the highest rates of gun ownership out of Europe, which is largely banned guns. I'm pretty sure a small mustache man in the nation he went into, he confiscated guns as well. I'm pretty sure he did. And again, he modeled the order, the SS, after the Jesuits. Let's see. World fertility rates in unprecedented decline. I wonder if that's a pokey-doke consequence. Remember the movie they put out, Utopia, in the time of that? Or at least Amazon did the remake. That's what it was about. The billionaires faking a pandemic to mass sterilize humanity. That's an interesting story right there. What's up, 810? 810, hello? 810? 810, you're going to have to call back. I cannot hear you for whatever reason. Yeah, this is straight out of Utopia right here. World fertility rates in unprecedented decline, UN says. Estrogen in the water all over the world from all the birth control that goes into the water. All right. So they're also talking about how not only are fertility rates down, but people also are deciding that they cannot afford children. Again, like I said, if you look into it, every agenda going on in the world comes back to population control. And another distraction, Greta Thunberg, who comes from a family of actors and entertainers. Another character for the world stage. A lot of news by the numbers with Greta. She's been deported. Oh, she was deported along with 11 other people. It's funny how they always got to throw their master number out there in their numerology backstories. What's up, 313?
Hey, what's up? How you doing, Dad?
Yeah, how you doing?
Oh, all right. I was just curious. I got a question. It's just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity. Because I know you've been doing this work for 12, like you said, about 12, 13 years. It's just out of curiosity. Because I used to watch, and long story short, I have all episodes, but just curious. Did you ever cover the death of James Avery?
James Avery. I'll have to check. Off the top of my head, I don't remember, but it doesn't mean I didn't. I forgot probably 90% of the things I've covered.
I was just wondering because I know he died back in, I believe it was 2012 or 13. 13, whatever.
Oh, the Fresh Prince, the Fresh Prince actor. The Fresh Prince actor.
Yeah.
Well, he died on New Year's Eve. We see people die every year from the world of celebrity on New Year's. I don't remember if I ever did do a post on his death though. I would have been about 4 or 5 months into the research when he died. I might have let that one slip through the cracks, but I do see that he died on New Year's Eve.
Right.
And just to remind everybody, New Year's got that 38-43 like killing, like RIP, and just every year on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, a lot of celebrity deaths.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right. Well, just curious about that because all I know is because I'm sort of like a Will Smith fan because I have all his movies, like all the Fresh Princes, and I was wondering because I know I'm just a big fan, but I do know the truth about what's going on. But just curious about that song because it's just crazy about, like you say, how these deaths just keeps going on and on and on and on, and how people just can't see through this stuff. They can't, like you said, like how many times do you have to keep on like making a point because this stuff is on the news, but people just can't see. And this is why I'm going to continue to keep on telling people constantly, daily, like every time. But a lot of people just like you said, they just brain dead and they want to hear what they want to hear. And a lot of people are just conditioning something where they just just can't. It's like most people just can't see something until they actually see something. Until it all hits the fan. Cause this stuff, I'm telling you, I'm gonna just keep on. I keep watching your videos every day, all day. Cause I'm telling you, my brother, you took right on, Dad.
Well, here, just real quick, I just had to look from Will Smith's birthday to his death. It was 97 days, and death does equal 97. So I don't think that's an accident. I don't think that's an accident.
Wow, that's crazy. Wow.
James Avery does equal New Year's as well. James Avery equals New Year's, so which equals death. But yeah, 97 days after Will Smith's birthday, the old death number.
Oh my Lord. Oh my, yeah. And right. And again, just like I'm gonna let you go in 1 second. And again, just like I know you did the death of Paul Walker, the guy who died in the car crash.
Yeah.
I think wasn't that 2013 or 2013?
It was 5 years to the day of Papa Bush dying on the same day. Yeah, it was November 30th, 2013.
Right.
And I did cover that at the time. And I had some, back then, the people who knew me, I had the people who knew me say, Zach, you know how crazy you sound right now? And I was like, I knew it was about Skull and Bones because he gets a red Porsche in the movie about Skull and Bones. That movie came right out before Papa Bush's son. But then 5 years later to the day, Papa Bush dies on the same day. I mean, come on, man. So.
Right. Yeah, you're right, Zach. You're right. No coincidence. It's the truth. It's the truth, my brother. It's the truth. Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it, Zach. Take care, brother, and keep on doing your thing, Zach. Keep on, brother. Don't give up. Don't give up. No matter what anybody say, don't give up. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people is going to have to really. I believe it says in the word that I mean, what's that scripture? But most people are going to. It's a scripture that talks about how I think people are going to have to come into the light, whether they want to don't want to hear or want to accept it or not. But they're going to have to come to the light because again, this stuff is the truth. Man, I was telling you that this stuff is. This stuff is. It's a fact. It's all. It's just getting badder and badder. Badder, badder, bad, and worse get worse and worse every day. Every day, you right. So keep on doing your thing, Zach. Keep on, my brother. Keep on. Do what you gotta keep on, brother. Take care.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you too. Take care.
All right.
Yeah, 97 days after Will Smith's birthday, and God, don't forget what they did with the Will Smith slap thing where he won Best Actor, and it was all synced with Sidney Poitier. And don't forget, I told you why they're probably going to kill Sidney Poitier at age 94. He was the first black actor to win Best Actor for a 94-minute movie about saving Catholic nuns. And then that was all synced with Will Smith winning Best Actor, but then the slap thing happened. What's up, 810?
Hey, man, how's it going?
It's going all right.
I just noticed yesterday the Big Three League, the basketball league, you know that?
Okay.
Ice Cube Basketball League.
Okay.
LA team is named LA Riot.
Is that right? LA Riot, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I just thought that programming was on point. I just wanted to get that.
Yeah,
across
interesting.
the message board of communication to you.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, take care.
Peace.
Wow, even for Al Jazeera, the top story is LA right now. All different forms of propaganda broadcasting to different targeted groups of community and just groups of people that have been purposefully divided, whether it be amongst religion, race, political party. I got time for one more phone call, and then I got to go get Sweet Girl. Rachel Maddow saying the biggest protest is yet to come. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to start another wave here. It's summer. All the kids are about to be out from school. Go participate in the festivities. You guys missed the RFK Jr. thing. Again, fired everybody on the Pokey Doke panel on the 144th day of his age. I mean, I've been a broken record about the Kennedy family in 144. In the same book that there's a section on Trump and MAGA in 134, in that same book there's a section on the Kennedy family in 144. RFK Jr. just continues to do the 144 ritual since becoming a member of the federal government like his father. And like I said, again, you guys, we just passed the 57th anniversary of his father dying in Los Angeles. And now while all eyes are on Los Angeles, where the protest began on June 6th, the 57th anniversary of his father's death, he wipes out all the VACCINE people from the CDC. It's another ritual by the numbers. Every little story they have is meant to provoke and divide. And they do it, again, they do it all Kabbalistically, perfectly, without flaw. So, thank you. Don't Follow the Sheep for being the first super chatter. We raised $2 today. I appreciate it. That's before Google takes their 30% cut, which will put us at $1.40. But hey, it all adds up. I appreciate the support. Don't Follow the Sheep. 610, he says, is the 15th Fibonacci number to go with the 225, which has a square root of 15, and 47 being the 15th prime. All right, getting mathematical. Don't Follow the Sheep. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Don't Follow the Sheep also became a member. Thank you. Thank you times two. Appreciate that. So he says, I heard they were giving out free iPhones in Los Angeles. Yeah, probably. So, maybe they were. Maybe it's another experiment for their surveillance state. Another LA story Kayla points out is the women's basketball team, Juju Watkins' supposed injury. And you always got to say supposed with these athletic actors they have out there. 760.
Hey, Zach, how's it going, man? This is Sean.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, I was just talking to you the other day, and you mentioned something that I kind of forgot about, and it was that organic side of Gematria. And, once I started following you a long time ago, the knowledge calmed me down. I'm watching the news and the bullshit media, and I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, what's going on? And then I found out about you and these numbers, and, dude, it just calms me down.
It should calm everybody down because it should take. They're trying to scare people and get them all worked up. And again, if you realize you're being played, you should stop letting yourself get played. Exactly. That's how I think everyone should take it.
Exactly, dude. And if you follow it long enough, pretty soon you realize that it's undeniable. And I didn't have a girlfriend, and I ended up getting a girlfriend. And so I started looking at the organic side of her and me. And, the town I live in is 60. She's a teacher, which equals 60. She was born in 60. Her name and my name equal 125. My name equals 125. And that organic side of it is what they've stolen. This stuff's happening no matter what, and they've just taken these numbers and they've hijacked them, and there's some kind of power in these numbers.
Yeah, it's Kabbalah. Again, there's a spiritual belief system about these numbers having power and influence, and it ties in with Hermeticism that everything carries a vibration, and you're either the person being manipulated by these vibrations or you're the one doing the manipulating. So,
right. And, when I was in school back a long time ago, I'm 61, I remember when Reagan got shot. I was in ceramics class, and Ronald Wilson Reagan, 666. There's 6 letters in every name there, and it's like, wait a minute, was that guy bred at birth for this, or did they just grab him and turn him into what he was?
Well, he's perfect for it, an actor, and that's why they want actors up there. Somebody left a comment about they can't believe the way Trump can just go up there and deliver lines about insurrection after the whole history. This is why they get actors, people who are trained to just deliver the script in front of the camera. Again, there's a reason actors are so highly paid. They're very necessary for what the elite need. They need people to carry out their scripts that serve their agendas. Donald Trump, Ronald Reagan, both lifelong Democrats, Hollywood actors who became Republicans when they went into politics. And let's not forget that Reagan was the 33rd governor of California, and the last big story before LA with this massive 33 rituals, 33 years since the National Guard was there, was Elon Musk and Trump's fallout on Reagan's death anniversary. I mean, just straight up mockery.
Right, and then you've got Elon's dad on the media screaming about how bitchin' Russia is. Oh, Russia's beautiful. Russia's this, Russia's that. Well, I'm sure it is, but, it's just part of the script to put him up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So one of the things that I also saw, Zach, is, I watch a lot of your stuff, and then sometimes I got to go to work and I miss your stuff, but these guys that you've been on these show with, CT.
Oh, yeah, he's a joke.
You know that guy, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's a joke. I kind of laugh in his face. And what I thought was, because you're so good at this, man, it would be bitching to watch you go back on that show and give these guys the organic version and do it to them. Like, go, hey, dude, give me your name. Give me your wife's name, where you live, where you met. And then you could do like a reading on them like you get with an astrology reading. And you would blow these idiots' minds because these guys are so closed off.
Well, I don't know. They're going to continue to remain closed off to everything. And I think that's all part of the show, too. Because, I mean, you look at a guy like CT, right? Like, just to make a point, CT makes a lot of money doing what he's doing. He only has 10,000 subs. He doesn't have, he has the same people, but somehow there's just a windfall of cash in every stream he does, which brings nothing but just, nonsense and crap to the table. And I imagine at the end of the day, it's because he's backing a political side. I imagine that the political parties are backing a lot of these YouTubers that do their bidding for him. But, the point I'm making is I think he's paid to maintain the stances he has and the beliefs that he puts out on his show. Because it doesn't make sense for him to get paid the way he does based on how small his channel is.
Well, and in my opinion, he has to follow a script as where you take the story where the story takes you.
Yeah, I'm not on anybody's strings. I'm out here doing and you see the disadvantage of being your own guy out here on YouTube. I mean, you get censored, you get deleted, you don't really have financial backing. You know, if CT was streaming, how long have I been on here for? About almost an hour. You know, in an average hour, he probably makes well over $100 every hour. After YouTube takes their cut, I'm at $7 minus 30%. What's that? $4.90. I made $4.90. So I mean, joining the cabal pays, whereas telling the truth does not.
Right, exactly. So I was sitting there watching you talk to that guy, and I was like, "Oh my God, Zach, show him the freaking murder by numbers thing. Show him the freaking."
I have. Oh, trust me, I've showed him all that over the stuff, and he just always like, I don't know, could be a coincidence. It's like, okay, this is a joke.
And then you've got Sting. Sting sings his song literally. Murder by numbers.
Yeah. No, trust me, I've showed all that. I've been on there plenty. I've showed them all that stuff, and they look at it like, I don't know. I don't know. I still think he'll always say, I still think it's bullshit. It's just like, okay, this is a joke.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of bullshit, I'm starting to wonder about SRS, that old Sean Ryan guy. He just had a guy named Augustus Dorico on. This dude's making rain, so I ran his name. His name equals 204, 60, 201, and 93.
Yeah, go
This guy's a freaking Jesuit. He's the son of a Jesuit. His name's Augustus Dorico.
Yeah.
And he's allowed. And then in one breath, they're saying that, oh, yeah, we're putting shit up into the sky to make it rain. And in the other breath, they're saying, oh, there's a difference between chemtrails, contrails, and rainmaking. It's all a bunch of freaking bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, I got a question for you. Is that you on WATOP?
What's that?
Is that your website? That WATOP looks like somebody, I think it's you. It looks like your hands. And you do a website that runs AI videos. You talk about all kinds of cool shit.
It's not it's not mine. I don't know what is it? WA what?
WATOP. It means we are top. And the dude looks like you, man. I'm like, holy shit, honey, come look at this guy. This is my guy, Zach.
It's not. It's not me.
It looks like you, dude.
It's a YouTube channel.
It's a YouTube channel, WATOP.
All right. Maybe,
For a
maybe
long
I'll,
time,
emulate.
Bites from the Venom.
Yeah, dude, it's hilarious.
Oh, he's definitely getting a lot better views than I am. Yeah, I wish I could get these kind of views these days. So.
Yeah, I was hoping that once you can make a little money.
No, that's not me. He's doing a lot better job at getting views these days. I'll tell you that much. So.
Yeah, exactly, man. Well, anyway, some of that I did call you a couple weeks back, and we talked a little bit about I do a lot of traveling in Baja, surfing and fishing, and there's an area where you drive down.
Sorry, man, I'm interested. I just realized I'm past, but I gotta go get Sweet Girl. I went overtime, so I told him I'd be there on time, and I'm already late.
I'll see you, buddy.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, yeah, thanks to everyone who does hit the like and the share. What YouTube does to all my videos is they demonetize them until they stop getting views, and then they say, oh, actually, it is eligible for... Like the video I got yesterday, the live I did, they got 4K views. It was demonetized the whole time. They just remonetized it about 20 minutes before I went live, and it hasn't gotten any new views. This YouTube's game to keep YouTubers like me broke. I never got into this for money, but like I said a long time ago, I realized we're going to need resources if we're ever going to get this work out there. And I realize the reality of it. I mean, the only real people that have resources to spend on anything are the cabal and the political parties, and that's why all the big money YouTubers have taken on a side. I will never do that. You'll never see me advocating for either political party, but the reality is, man, it's just like if people don't resist and fight back, we're finished, man. We're finished because there's not going to be anyone who can change the game with a great enough message or research or knowledge. It's just not going to happen. That stuff's going to get flushed down the toilet, deleted, censored, suppressed, just like you've seen happen to me for the last 12 years. And it's just gotten worse with time. That's why, the views are as bad as they are now. It's like when I get 4,000 views, I'm like, wow, I got 4,000 views. I mean, again, you guys, in 2017, every video had 10K views within a half hour. Like if I would have got 4K views on a video, I'd been like, God, well, what was wrong with that video? Now it's like the pinnacle. It's like as good as it gets. But yeah, it's just and that's why sometimes I keep thinking like it might be time to just stop covering news and just go full time on sports. I do make decent resources through covering the sports and the Patreon, but the news coverage it hurts because there's not really anyone who's into supporting it. It doesn't get views. And yeah, I feel like, you know, if I want to do the things that I envision, like have the news team and a full staff of people, I feel like at this point, the only avenue there is to really put all the time into sports and take the sports decoding to the next level. So that is on my mind, you guys. It is on my mind to just drop the news thing all the way and go 100 on the sports. And for all you guys who don't like that, I mean, are you guys supporting the Patreon? Are you ever pledging $1? Do you ever chip in $1 during a super chat, a live stream? I'm pretty sure the answer to that is no. So I think you could understand why. This is like spinning the wheels in sinking mud every day. And I wish it wasn't that way, but I mean, it really is. So, all right. Thank you again to Open Up, who's always very generous and who is on the Patreon. And thank you again to Don't Follow the Sheep. And thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share and who does try to support the work in whatever way they can. Another great way to do it if you don't have $1 is just once the stream's over, just post a one-word comment. And somebody's trying to call in right now, but I got to go get Sweet Girl. All right, guys, until next time, have a good rest of your day.